Normally I prime my figure black, as you can see. Don't ask me why, I just think it's better working for me. When I start painting, I use my painting palette, so that's very handy because I can put my colors in each square what I need. When I do that, I always make sure I mix enough color, and then I use a pipe to put in some water. So 2 or 3 drops, depends how much color you put into the square. The white one is the light flesh. That's a combination I use for painting the flesh on the Indian. So that's, what is it, light flesh. Then this one is the new wood. And the beige red. Orange brown. Sorry, that was this one. Some red. And some black. I wouldn't mix too many different colors together. That makes it easy if you have to mix it again. So that's already the maximum I use. 4 base colors and 1 or 2 to making the shadows. That's enough. The more you mix, the more complicated it gets, and it makes it difficult for yourself as well. So keep it simple. So that's the base I use for building up the paint on the skin. Now I use from each square a bit color and mix my base color together. So there is no rule, so you have to do that and try. You have to play a bit with the colors and mix it so long till you get the feeling it looks right. If you see it's too dark or too light, just take more of your different colors and mix it so long till you think it's now the right color tone. So you always have to wait a little bit, maybe a couple of seconds or 1 or 2 minutes till it gets dry. Depends how much area you have to paint. So for that we have just to wait. And you can see there is still some black coming from underground. So that's why you have to wait and then just put another layer on till it's totally covered. And then you can start and build up the highlights. I always start from the middle tone, so I'm not using the very darkest colors and then work up to the lightest. So I start in the middle and then work up to the lightest ones, and then start to do the same with the shadows, go to the darkest. When I do the next step, then I use that color I mix together and take a new square. So I take some color out and then use some of the lighter color to give it a lighter tone, as you can see. So It's still a bit wet, so we have to wait. The reason why I use the palette and make single squares is when I have to correct, I always have the current color I used. So I don't have to mix it from scratch. So I can just use, okay, take one of the darker one, or take one of the lighter one, take one of the shadow ones. So all the colors are still there. And that's why I make sure when I start, I use enough, not that it dries out. So they are not that expensive, so you can use them. And the traders, they are happy when you buy new stuff. So. Next one is coming. And more. Oh, sorry. So you can see that the difference between those three. So they just should be slightly lighter than the previous one. Not too, the gap shouldn't be too big. So if I miss this one and I start directly with this one from here, the contrast is too strong, because in the end we want to get a subtle, smooth transition from dark to lighter to the highlight. Oh, sorry, to the highlight. Still a bit wet, that's why the paint is coming off, so you have to be careful and let it dry. It's always important to keep in mind where the lights should be on the face. It's the same on the whole body, but on the face it's the most important thing, because the figure will die or live with the face. So you have to put the most effort into getting a good painted face. You can cheat some things on the figure, but with cheating the face is terrible. It will kill your figure. So that's why you have to understand where are the lights and where are the shadows. And the shadows, what I will tell you later on, that's the most important thing, what people sometimes forget or overdo. So I always make sure that I get all the lights on the forehead. It's very important. Then under the eye, going up to the root of the nose, where the eye meets the nose. Under the eye, of course, on the nose itself, on the nose wings. Then the lips, under the nose, of course, the chin, the cheekbones, but always make sure that you are not pulling down the color too deep. Otherwise, you will always overpaint the previous layer you already did. So you always have to leave a bit from that step, so that it builds up like a pyramid. And in the end, you only have the highest top, where the highest highlight will stay. So that's the next highlight.
Please.
And you see, I'm not only using the brush the normal way, I also just dip color on it. So that's working as well, so you can do that. There's no note that you don't have to use it, so you can try out everything what fits for you the best. So that's normally what I'm using, about 5 different steps to get to the top, not more. So you can do more if you like, but for me, it's fine. I think if you are doing more than 5 or 6 layers, it's just wasting time. So that's enough. Or when you see it, the contrast is a bit too rough, like here now around the chin, so I don't like that, then I just take some of the previous color and make a correction on the edge. Take a little bit more. It's not enough, in my opinion.
Good.
This is the same with using oils. What's that? Yeah, but most people, it's hard to know. If you're going to face that strong, well, eyeballs more or less non-existent. The eyeballs that is correct. That is correct, but still, people want the paint job. See it. It's such a. So
When I do the highlights, I always make sure they are really popping out, because it doesn't matter if they look a bit too extreme at that stage, because when I start doing the shades, everything goes back again. So that's why I have to make sure the lights are really strong at that stage. And then when I create the shadow colors, everything gets darker again, because I will overpaint almost everything. That's why I make sure they are really strong. But before I do that, I will finish my eyes. That will be very, very difficult, because that's not the way I paint normally. So I'm really shaky. For that, I just take red and black and make a very, very dark, almost violet. So if I'm lucky, I can paint the eye. If not, it's Stefan's fault.
Oh, it's good, it's good. Yes.
Yeah, it's only a black line, that's easy. So I have no idea if it's right.
Vous avez vu les efforts qu'elle fait pour vous quand même, hein?
Non, à cause de toi.
Oui, bah c'est pour vous, hein? C'est pour vous, hein?
Is it right? I don't see it. Oh.
Oui.
So to make the pupils, that's always the most difficult part, especially on the left eye, so as you know by yourself. So it's really just patient, be patient. You have to do that as long till they are right. So sometimes you are lucky and you are finished them in 2 minutes, and sometimes it takes half an hour or so. But never stop before you are really happy with the pupils, because if they are not right, then the whole figure looks strange. And then after that, it's important that you paint the eyelids, the upper and the down eyelid, so you have to give the eye a form, a shape. We can see this eye is almost finished. And this one still has to be painted. That's what I mean. You have to, as soon as you put the pupil, you have to paint the eyelids, the upper and the one below. So that gives the eye the real shape, and that it's very important. Even if you have a bad sculpted eye, sometimes you can correct that with painting the line under and below the eye. That's very, very important.
C'est vrai, pour avoir les images plus pensées avec tout le monde, on refait vraiment le décadrage. Okay, now I will mix the shadow colors.
I like violet, so royal purple I used.
Okay.
Then the new wood and some English khaki. And the red I used before and some black. Then I also take some of the base color I painted. And I take those colors I use for the shading. I always start with a middle tone, like I did build up the highlights. I do the same with the shade, so not start with the darkest one, so the one in the middle, and then work down to the darkest. And then, of course, it depends what color you are using, what type of skin you would like to have. If you want to have a cold one, so then use a bit more white, sunny skin tone, for example, not the basic skin tone, sorry, not the sunny, because that has more yellow in it, so that gives it a cooler outfit. And for the Indian, of course, now it looks really like we do, but with the shading it will be different. And also make sure that the color for the shades are much thinner than the one I used for building up the highlights, because it's like lacing a lasur, so it's translucent, so you still can see the painted color on the face, but also you can see the shades. Oh God, I'm blind, I don't see anything. As you can see, I almost overpaint everything what I painted before. That's why I told you, make sure that the highlights are very strong, because you overpaint them again with the shadow colors. That darkens everything down a bit. And I can't give you a rule what colors you have to mix together. So that's just experience and just automatism. So you have to mix and decide by your brain and your eye the color is right. So I can't tell you more about that. So I don't know how I'm doing it either. I just do it. So don't think too much when you mix colors. Just trust your instinct and your eye that it looks right or not. And of course, as you know, like with the highlights, they are on the top spots on your face. The shadows, of course, are the contrary, so they are on the bottom line. So that's why we want to paint the shadows in that area. So that's why I pull down the brush under the chin, where the darkest location is. So they are the most important shadows. You have to paint those between the nose and the cheek, this part here, that has to be very dominant. Then under the lip, here, the mouth corner around here, then here where the eye is meeting the nose, this area, here, between the bone of the eyes, and of course where you paint the eyebrow, so there as well, and under the chin. So here they have to be the darkest shadows, and you have really to make sure you can see a difference. Sometimes people forget that and just leave it the same, and that really makes the face three-dimensional, so it's popping out. And it's very important. And immediately when I see I made some, the paint is going over to a point I don't want it, correct it, always immediately, because the paint is drying that quick. Then of course you do depends what type of Indian I'm doing now, so I will check out what wall paint I can use, and then I do that mostly with oil colors, paint that on, and then after that I go on with the hair, and I always start with the face. Once I finish the face and I'm happy, then almost the whole figure is already painted, because the face is always the most difficult part. And then I work from the top, so I finish the hair and then start with the chest from inside, work to outside, and from up to down till the feet and then the base. So I think that's it, or yeah?
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. Of course, at home I will do the fine adjustment and finish it proper.
Tournez. Merci.
Okay.
Good.
Good. Yeah. Okay. So, la la la.
Bravo.
Merci, merci, merci.